Well, here we go, and welcome to another edition of Winning Ways, which is now a whole morphed show for YouTube, and we hope that you're enjoying it on YouTube and subscribing. That's what we need you to do, subscribe. That's how we keep the show up on air. We've got a very interesting guest today in the form of a gentleman called Robbie Martin. Now, if you go to Greyville Races any day of the week or weekend, and Robbie Martin's not there, they don't start the racing. He got to be there because he's one of the key players on the tote. I mean, he's the quartet king and loves this horse racing business more than anything, knows more than anyone, and holds a world record, which he'll be chatting to you about. Fascinating guy. Paul's going to chat to him, and great to have him on the show.
Yeah, interesting guy. Lived the life.
Yeah, he lived the life, Robbie.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's talk about sport. And we'll kick off with the soccer. You boys are in a fine place.
Fine mood.
Yeah.
You know, I can't believe it. You know, you get beaten 7-2 in the middle of the week. You think, boom, we're going to go out there and we've got to show some pride. We got completely rolled. The keeper threw the first one in. They never raised the game for him. He's out for a long time, which to me over the last 2 years he hasn't performed well. He tried to pull the ball back against Southampton. They scored World Cup final against Croatia, tried to pull the ball back, got open net for strikers. To me, he's not good enough anymore, but the team, I don't know where we're going, Rob. James, I don't know where it ends. You know, as much as we've got woes, and we've got new stadiums, we've got all these things, we just cannot buy a result, but then neither can Man United.
Well, that's comforting, isn't it? That Man United can't buy.
You know, if they there's so many people that don't like Man United, but they really are struggling. They're trying the young guys. They're not getting shots on target, Jim. You see the stats, shots on target, and I think we against Brighton. Now there's not one of the Brighton players basically who could start on the Spurs side. We had 3 shots on target, and 2 from Muro came on very late. It's just not good enough, you know. Okay, and Man United, same problem.
Well, you're a Spurs fan. You should know everything that's going on. What's going on in the dressing room with your couple of guys there, Ericsson? And,
that's such hogwash they got out there. That's fake news.
Is that fake news?
Yeah, they said
what
that.
What about Viagra?
No, they said that Ericsson's wife had an affair with Tongan. Harry Kane got upset and had punched him in the eye because of it, and it's utter hogwash. They both went on Twitter and said, complete rubbish, you know, this is just all fabricated, those stories. So, but that hung around for about a month, that story, you know, you're not the first person to mention it. But it's been
the first person to mention it on Winning Ways, you know, for a month you haven't told us about it.
Well, it's not true.
I'm very
it's
worried
not true. I get the grow. It's not true. You know, I don't have to defend some guy's fidelity, but it's not true, James.
You're the last man to defend.
Yeah, I'm the last man to point fingers at footballers. Yeah.
Okay, well, let's talk about the good news. Arsenal won 1-0.
Yeah.
Encouraging. We're up in
encouraging to beat Bournemouth. Yeah.
Good.
Chelsea are starting to get their stuff wheel, but Man City have now suddenly got problems.
The first goal, Otamendi, how he let that guy go and get past him and score was just pathetic. I think he's the biggest problem they have.
Yeah, he's struggling. The other 2 centre-halves out, they're struggling there.
Yeah.
But James, they were at home. They've won the last 2 leagues. They're playing against a team that got promoted in the last year and a half. They're a team that's struggling this year, Wolves, and Wills Traore gets in for 2 goals. They lost to another promoted team. Well, this time it was the Canaries. They got beaten by them. So it makes you think how good they are. But then, having said that, one has to look at Liverpool, who haven't dropped a point, but they've had some close shaves. Now, for me, I would never have given that as a penalty. Mane got touched in the box. I don't know what all Brighton was playing it back in that area for, but I cannot believe that you just touch a guy today. They're going to think it's a trampoline they've bounced off, because Mane shot forward a second late, like he'd been poleaxed. It's penalty. The guy's hands are tied. It's like if Rice ball hit his hand in the West Ham game. It's a penalty, and these things are tough. You keep it tidy in the box now. But Liverpool have got a fantastic home record. It's a fortress, but away from home, they've struggled a little bit, Jim. And I think there's still a lot of twists and turns in this league.
No, I told you at the beginning, Liverpool win it in a canter. Forget about it.
Why should I use your information? You told me Shea couldn't win the green jacket. You said no chance, Nera lost.
Oh,
I'm not letting you forget
I
that.
didn't realize that he came there having practiced for 2 months. Okay, on a mission. I thought he came there to drink, which is a normal game. Drink and expose himself.
That's right.
He didn't do either. I mean, it's no wonder he won the green jacket. Mark Marquez, did you watch him?
I watched fleetingly overtake on the last lap, and I heard his record. And he jumped onto a snooker table or a pool table after he won. He potted the black because it's an 8. He won it 8 times or 8 races this year.
Eighth MotoGP title, and that's including his GP2 title. So he's won 6 now, and which means he's 1 behind Rossi and 2 behind the greatest rider of all time, Agostini. So, but he is brilliant.
Is Rossi still riding, James?
Yeah, Rossi's still
riding. Rossi could add to it.
Rossi's about 38 or something.
Okay,
He's now finished. But this guy, Fabiano Quartararo, who's a French kid, 19 years old or whatever, led him till the last lap. And he passed, Marquez passed Quartararo about 4 bends to go. And they came to the last, and Quartararo took him up the inside. But he cut back on Quartararo's inside to actually retake the lead. It just is...
Yeah, he's phenomenal.
Yeah, phenomenal. So he's just unbelievable. The big boxing match, and I know that we weren't going to talk about boxing, but I watched it, the replay yesterday. Triple G fighting a guy called Pavlyuchenko. It was absolutely...
Pavlyuchenko won?
No, Triple G won. This guy Pavlyuchenko got a cut in his eye here. It was 1 inch long and half an inch deep, bleeding in the second or third round. And he fought the whole 12 rounds. He was fantastic. Yeah, it was Ukrainians and Serbians or whatever. But Triple G is the best middleweight in the world. And he's lost 2 decisions, one to Alvarez and one to Canelo Alvarez and one to someone else. One on a split decision and the other one. Anyway, it was a great fight. If you get a chance, go watch the replay. Jon Rahm won the 2nd Spanish Open in a row. He won last time, won by 5 shots.
Very good.
He's a top man. All the Spaniards up there, Rafa, Cabrera, Bayo, all of them.
Who's going to win the World Cup Rugby? We've seen a few games.
I'm glad we mentioned World Cup Rugby because the game of the week, as far as I was concerned, was Namibia playing New Zealand. And I'll tell you why. I know they got beaten, they got 11 tries put past them. But when they got the ball, they kept it.
Yeah.
They held on, they rumbled, they created breaks, they did everything right with the ball. They never kicked it away. They kicked it maybe 3 times in the game. Because when you kick to New Zealand,
you're in trouble.
They're gonna run at you. New Zealand and France are going to give you France were very jittery. I've always thought they're the best outsiders. They got the jitters. The jukebox got the jitters. I thought they're the best outsiders. I think England are right there in the game.
Good team.
We obviously in the game, but we must stop kicking it to the opposition. That's the thing.
It can only be a tactic, James. If Faf kicks it, the next scrum off comes on, kicks it. Can only be told by the coach.
It's a tactic. The thinking behind it, as far as I can see, is that you're trying to put them under pressure and gain ground because you're hoping that you're able to tackle the guy who gets the ball and then maybe get a turnover or maybe makes a mistake. I believe it's better to hold it with your forwards, roll it up, get them to come closer and closer and closer to them, and then run it wide. And we got some fantastic finishes on the outside. So
it's all to play for.
All to play for. Okay. Anyway, shall we have a look at a couple of horses that we think you should have a look at? Let's go to Turfentine, 5th of October. Pick up one of Sean Terry's nice young horses. Trapiche is the horse's name. Let's go and pick it up at the start.
Yeah, Trapiche runs in black, white and green silks, comes out of trap 6. It soon works its way over to the fence. And this is a very good run. It's Raymond Danielson riding it for Sean Terry. And you'll see it quite clearly now in green, white. And it's a good 8 lengths back, if the commentator's right, you know. The winner is a horse called Pop Arkin for Fabian Habib and Pierre Stradom. Great ride. The paces are gunner runners up there. Walla, the De Kock horses there. And the Terry horse we found, Trapiche, you will see it's a long way back on the fence.
It's got the black, green and white colours. It's got the black and white quartered cap. The jockey fell off that horse, Contrail. He stepped off it. My boy, Calvin Habib. Drop his irons a few holes, stepped off the thing. Not very good. Anyway, it made a little duck out to start. But this horse has got the sort of lime green sleeves and the quartered cap, black and you can see it's a black and white colours. He's got a white stripe down his face. He's
got a lot to do here, Jim.
Got a lot to do because when you consider the front runner won it, they couldn't have gone that quickly, so Stratham absolutely dictated, and none of them got a blow in. This horse ran on really well. He's by Judd Potts out of Blackman Alouche mare, bred by Highlands, and he thinks he's got a future, this horse.
Yeah, it was a good run.
Running on really well. Yeah, so
Trapiche.
The winner won extremely easily, and well done to the team on Teletrack because they tipped it in the morning. They said Fabian said it could not run out the first three. So
well done to them.
It won.
Well won comfortably.
Apparently have been gelded and done very well since its gelding. Right, let's go to the next one. We go to Greyville on the 2nd of October and we pick up a filly of Doug Campbell's and she looks like she's got some future, this filly. Let's go and pick her up at the start. Kildonan Bay.
Yeah, there's Kildonan Bay. You'll see it come out the gates. It's in the blue silk, so it's quite easy to pick up. The race is won by a horse called Diamonds and Pearls. It's got a white cap, sort of two off the fence midway back. And the pace is on here. Jetrix gets up there. Channel Allure showing pace. Miss Charlotte was the favourite trying to get into the race. And if you look now, the winner's in fifth with the white cap, and right behind it is Doug Campbell's horse, Kildonan Bay, the horse we found.
Now, this is another situation where the barrier trials make so much difference. Because this filly had a barrier trial. She's obviously trained on his farm, so she doesn't, have that much experience. But the barrier trial obviously helped her because she'd run around this track. And she followed the favourite through in the blue colours. And the first three horses were on the outside of the track, and she never really got going till late in the race. The favourite's got her beaten, hasn't he?
Shane Humby's horse here, Diamonds and Pearls, with Donovan Dillon, who's having a great run. And here's Kildonan Bay, puts in a bold effort, tries to get up, and he just can't go on with it, but well worth following. That's Kildonan Bay in the blue.
Doug Campbell bred it, Sugar Hill stud, Kildonan out of Russian Revival mare, so that's Doug Campbell type breeding, isn't it? He uses the KwaZulu-Natal Australia.
That's right, yeah.
And Kildonan's had a few nice horses. So let's move on to the third one. We go to Greyville on Sunday, and this horse I thought ran an exceptional barrier trial. He wasn't asked at all, and I think that he ran a cracking good race here. I think this is quite a good horse, Fred. Let's go and pick him up at the start.
Yeah, Fred runs a very good race. He shows plenty of speed, runs in the famous Marsh Shirtlift colours. On his inside here is the favourite Duke of York, and he quickly goes past it. This is Donovan Dillon riding for Brett Crawford. Now you'll see it in Marsh's silks. Funny enough, the horse inside Politics is in the red on its outside. There's an objection between those two, and the roles are reversed because Fred did finish second. And the winner's a horse called Orchid Street, a visitor who ran from a bad draw, I think, for Basil Samuels. And that's Wire. Wire's coming to town. Musi rides that and got it in from the draw, wins a good race. But Fred is just lugging a little bit, James, as it turns for home. Donovan straightens up, and it's a good run.
I was amazed that he lost it on an objection. I'll tell you straight. I think he did run across the track. He never touched the other horse on his outside. The other horse got to stick on him now already, to go past him, and can't go past him, has got room. And he
gets a bit tight here, James.
I think that he gets him tight,
and
but
can't ride
there's no way that other horse is going to beat him. I mean, there's no way. Even though he has to check and go around him, you'll see he makes up no ground on him, and Fred keeps on running to the line. To me, that was a harsh decision.
Harsh call, okay.
And I've seen lots worse than that. But anyway, let's talk about his pedigree. Ideal World out of Tiger Ridge mare, bred by Mouton's Hook. And he's a nice horse, this horse. This horse will win some races. He's got a lot of quality about him. And I think that they'll be very happy with what they bought here. Right, we had some fantastic racing over the weekend, and we're going to start with Joburg. We had 2 grade 3s in Joburg. Let's pick them up at the start of the 600 metres with the Fillies and Mares Challenge at Turfentine. Let's go and pick up the winner here.
And Sidonie escapes to lead it by 2.5 lengths with 800 to go. Sidonie by 2.5. Jennifer's second. 3 lengths away to Pool Party. Karaoke still wide. Further back, Rock and Roll Dancer. Vistula's got 8 lengths to find. Further back to Spirit of the Groove. Perfect Tigress and Green Top. Rougeleurs behind those with Flying Fable. Then came Cascapedia's got about 10, 11 lengths to make up. And Bullseye the trailer. Homeward bound, 500 to go. And Sidonie led by 2 lengths from Jennifer's. Behind that, Pool Party. Vistula's coming forward down the inside, 3 lengths to make up. Spirit of the Groove is towards their outside. Skippers is also running on as they enter the last 300 metres. Jennifer's got to the front now. Down the inside is Vistula. Then came Sidonie. Spirit of the Groove is wider out, making up the ground, but it's Jennifer's the leader. Spirit of the Groove running on with Perfect Tigress, and Vistula's coming home strongly. Jennifer's and Vistula. Vistula gets the front. Vistula has won it from Jennifer's. Perfect Tigress.
Look at Jabir. Owns it, bred it, Rita's Kral.
Ideal World.
Ideal World out of a Second Empire mare. She's a nice filly, and she
Yeah,
gave
she's a
them,
good
she gave
filly.
them 6.5 kilos.
She's a very good filly. I was very impressed. Good driver, Warren Kennedy, because Muzi did everything right on Jennifer's and couldn't tell. What did you think of the run of the horse having a second run of his life, Sidonie? Didn't finish that far back. Dynasty, the one by Street first time out for Sean Terry. I think this has got to learn, but I think it's got a lot of ability.
It's very interesting to see what to make of the 3-year-olds, because the second filly was a 3-year-old and ran a pretty good race.
Yeah.
The fourth filly was for older filly, and the fifth filly, Spirit of the Groove, I think is getting ready for the Ready to Run Cup. That's what I'd be very keen on in the Ready to Run Cup. I think she'll win that.
Okay.
And we then move on to the next one, which was Joburg Spring Challenge. And this looked like a race full of promise for the big season.
Run, put on the red light along the inside. In behind those is Prince of Gahal, and then came Zuov and Infamous Fox. Racing behind that is Angel's Power. They followed by Clever Guy, Full Mast, Buffalo Bill Cody's 8-9 lengths adrift. Down the inside is Will Pays and Romy's Boys drop to the tail end of the field. 500 metres to go. And Chimes the leader, being tracked now by Ehsan. On the outside is Chimichurri Run. Put on the red light is down there inside. Then came Prince of Gahal. They followed by Infamous Fox. 2 to go. Zuov is running a big race too. Buffalo Bull Cody still got 6 to go. Prince of Gahal, anyone's call. Zuov hit the front here. Chimichurri Run down the inside, put on the red light. Chimes, Prince of Gahal. Then came Ehsan, but it's Zuov who is the leader. On the outside, Prince of Gahal is taking a big challenge. Zuov, Prince of Gahal between them, Infamous Fox, and I think Prince of Gahal won it. Prince of Gahal won it from in second, Zuov, and very close for the minor placing.
Well, there you go. The older horses held sway here properly, and I was very impressed. I've always liked this horse. I think Roy Magna's done a marvellous job with
Very
the
good
horse.
job.
He's a Cahal. He's bred by Clifton. Out of their great mare Vogue, she's a model mare. That's their sort of foundation mare.
Yeah.
And he's turned out to be a really good.
He's a very good horse.
Robert Chung, who's an overseas owner. I think it's fabulous. I just was so pleased with the win.
Very good ride by the youngster too. Schwartz is making a name for himself.
Yeah, I think he's a good rider.
Yeah.
I think that he's definitely got ability. The second horse, Chimes, I think Zuov's ran second, but then got demoted to fourth. He was gutsy. He's a course and distance specialist. Very disappointing Buffalo Bull Cody.
Yeah, getting left to the start couldn't have helped, but I agree with you. I would have thought a little more fire up the stretch.
Yeah, they just bought the half brother or half sister at Goff's, the team Mary Slack and Shahan and Mike. They've just been there. And I think he's a beautiful horse. He's one of the most magnificent looking horses, but he just didn't quicken, and he normally quickens up. And no excuse, because this horse, Prince of Gahal, came from a long way off then. And he's never shown he gets the trip, so, Anyway, let's move on and we go to Durbanville. These races used to be run at Kenilworth. We start with the Diana, and I think this is the best filly in South Africa, certainly over a mile. And this was a 7 furlong, which looked a bit short for her, but she won without taking a deep breath. Let's go and watch it.
7 lengths off the lead, Sugar Girl, and behind that into the limelight. Helen's Ideal up front dictates the pace, has it from Shamrock Wind. Front and centre has a Rails run in behind those. They've been followed by Freedom Charter. In behind that, Dynamic Diana is further back in running as they race through the middle of the bend with 7:50 left for the line. Helen's Ideal's the one in front, has the lead from front and centre along the inside. Shamrock Wind has moved up alongside those as they corner for home with 600 for the line in the Diana Stakes of 2019. Helen's Ideal tries to make every post a winning one from Shamrock Wind. Front and centre's just being held together between runners. Up the outside, Freedom Charter's also starting to get going. Helen's Ideal finding more. Front and centre between runners. Freedom Charter's also starting to kick on. Helen's Ideal's finding more. Front and centre, and Freedom Charter is coming home strongly. Front and centre, Freedom Charter. Helen's Ideal to the wire. Front and centre has got it from Freedom Charter. Helen's Ideal back in third.
Well, this Dynasty filly, owned by the Ridgemont team, I think she's a cracker. She's
very
really
good.
Is very good. And then the next one we go on to, Vaughan Marshall, done an extremely good job with this horse to bring this horse back. He looked like he was, he hits a flat spot, this horse, but he just shows guts and he keeps on going. One World, let's pick him up in the other feature at Durbanville.
11 lengths off them as Undercover Agent dictates the terms and has the lead from Sacred Arrow. Pleased to meet you in behind those. They've been followed by Bishop Bounty. One World is racing about 5 lengths off the lead as they race through the 750-metre region and start to take the final bend for home. Undercover Agent is out in front from Sacred Arrow. Pleased to meet you. One World is creeping close as they swing for home in the Matchroom Stakes of 2019. Sacred Arrow, Undercover Agent, pleased to meet you between runners. One World's got 2 to go in behind those. Down towards the inside, Bishop Bounty. African Warriors going for a Rails run in behind that, starting to make progress. It's Undercover Agent. They come to the 300. Sacred Arrow, pleased to meet you. One World's hanging inwards. African Warriors also starting to come through between runners. He's looking for a way through up the outside. Search Party's running on. Undercover Agent. Search Party. One World between runners. They drive up to the line. One World has got there from Search Party. They're behind those. Undercover Agent along the inside.
Pretty good.
Yeah, good horse.
He's a
good horse. Some good horses in that race. I was very impressed with the young horse, African Warrior, coming from last. I thought he ran a very good race, but I thought Vaughan did a good job with this winner.
Yeah.
I know he'd been rushed a little bit.
Well, those are the appetizers for the big season, and obviously the big racing was in France. We picked up 2 races we think that you should watch. The Prix de l'Arc de Triomphe, because Enable canters to the front. I thought it was a no race, and then she gets run out of it. We'll talk about it after we watch the race.
Up, they are set and ready and off. Get away, looks like quite a decent break as they begin. Cestilio Jet and also Shades of Blue towards the back of the field. El Astronaut on the right leads to Glass Slippers, Invincible Army. Down the centre, Bash Ash and the black jacket of Ken Code and Soldiers Call in behind this. Then comes Gold Vibe from Spinning Memories and also So Perfect in the purple jacket. Finsbury Square is next from Cestilio Jet and Mabs Cross. Towards the back of the field then is Jolie and company with Recon Mission as now Glass Slippers has come through to take it up. The white and dark blue jacket goes on to El Astronaut, Invincible Army. Batash is struggling. Gold Vibe is there in 4th position, and then comes So Perfect running on. Batash plummeting back through them, but it's Glass Slippers in front and clear. Leads by 3 or 4 lengths. Glass Slippers to El Astronaut. So Perfect, Invincible Army behind those, but they did not see which way Glass Slippers went, and she's won in fantastic style. So Perfect has probably come through to 4th, 2nd position in a very tight run thing, looking to the back of the field.
Well, my mistake. We'd watched the Prix de l'Abbé, which we thought was going to be the sort of counterpart for Batash. You know, he's looks like the best sprinter around. He was the first one off the bit, first one under pressure. And Glass Slippers is a fabulous race for the Yorkshiremen.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Because the 1st and 3rd were both Yorkshire trained.
Okay.
And you know, it's not often that the Yorkshire guys go and win a Group 1, never mind go to France and win the biggest Group 1 in the world. Kevin Ryan, Tom Eves, big success for both of them. You know, this is by Dream Ahead.
That's right. And the Dream Ahead's only had 2 Group 1 winners if you count this one.
Yeah.
It's about Dick Cat, I think.
Yeah.
And they needed this as a Shetland. I think it stands at about 12,000 now.
Yeah.
And but it won comfortably. Glass slippers. Whoa.
Absolutely, out of a Mind Games mare, basically homebred. It was a fabulous, fabulous win. And Batash, well, I think he'd probably be retired now. But then the Arc de Triomphe, and really we all, I think the whole world was hoping Enabled will win. And going through the 300, well, that's looked like what was going to happen. But as it unfolded, it didn't happen. This is the beauty of horse racing and why we all want to be in it, because no one is a certainty. At the end of the day, whoever wins can count their blessings, and whoever gets beaten can say, well, we gave it a good fight. And that's exactly the way John Gosden and Frankie Dettori saw it. I think they must have been broken to get beaten, but they got beaten by a better horse on the day. Let's go and pick them up at the start.
Lined up for the Arc then, and off they go. Racing away, Soft Light is the slowest one of them to break into stride. 2,400 metres, a mile and a half in front of them. Nagano Gold quickly drops to the back of the field as Fearmont with a red cap is the first to show. Blast One Piece in second position. Sotsas is running in third. Gayarth round the outside, then Magical. French King is next. Enable comes next. She's just ahead of Kiseki, 2 lengths away to Japan. Quite a gap then, 3 or 4 lengths further back to Soft Light, and Nagano Gold is at the rear of the field. They begin to settle down. Gayarth in the blue colours. He was a bit warm beforehand, and he's moved through to show out in front. Fearmont, Christophe Lemaire, the red cap against the running rail. Next to him is Donica O'Brien on Magical with the white cap, and then Frankie on Enable. She's about 3 off the running rail, just moving ahead of Sotsas and Christian Jamirio in the green colours. Blast One Piece, a light blue jacket, comes next as they run right up now towards the top of the hill. Voltgeist and Kiseki in company with Japan. French King behind those. Little gap then to the red and white of Soft Light, and another gap to Nagano Gold at the rear. So downhill now they head down to the home straight. They're well strung out. Enable is in 4th place. The leading trio getting away. It is Gayarth in blue leading. Magical, the white cap, a length and a half behind in 2nd place. Then Fearmont in 3rd. There'll be about 3 lengths to Enable. She holds 4th at the moment from Sotsas, and then Blast One Piece. The red of Voltgeist around the outside of Kiseki. Japan is behind those as they run down the full straight now, well on their way to home. Japan 3 or 4 from the back of the field, and then French King, Soft Light and Nagano Gold. But Gayarth will lead them to the home turn. They have only 600 metres to go. Magical in 2nd. Enable, she's now poised. She's in 3rd position. Sotsas is next. Japan is trying to make progress down the outside. Voltgeist is next. But now Magical. White cap goes on. Enable in 2nd place. She's 2 lengths behind. 400 metres to go. Here's Japan and also Sotsas with their challenges. Voltgeist behind those, but 300 metres to go. Enable has the lead. Sotsas in the green colours in 2nd. Voltgeist the red down the outside. They're coming to the last furlong now, and it's Enable in front. She leads. Voltgeist in 2nd place is closing down the centre. Voltgeist in the red jacket is getting up. He's won. Pierre Charles Boudot was one of Voltgeist. Beats Enable. Sotsas was next, then Japan. Magical, Soft Light, Kiseki, Nagano Gold, French King, Gayarth, then Blast One Piece, and Fearmont is next. Well, it wasn't to be, I'm afraid, but it is a way for Voltgeist. Pierre Charles Boudot on board. Number 2 has won the Qatar.
Well, there you go. Andre Fabre, Pierre Charles Boudot.
Yeah. Very good horse.
He's owned, funny enough, by a guy, Dietrich von Botticher, and Andreas Jacobs, our own main chance man. And apparently this horse was offered to South African Connections about 18 months ago, and they turned it down because they said it was too small or
too
something.
small, that's right. Son of Galileo, too small.
Joking?
You know what he's won in the last 18 months? He got 3 million euros just for that.
Well, there you go. It was a fabulous win. I'm very pleased for them all. Andre Fabre, I think it was his 7th or 8th Arc de Triomphe. But spare thought for Enable.
Yeah, they're worried about the ground, and she ran a great race.
You know, there's stars coming through, and you've got to look for the stars that are coming through. And the French had 2 other big races for 2-year-olds. The Grand Criterium, which was won by the Shamadal, Victor Ladorum.
What a year for Shamadal. What a year. Just every top horse is a Shamadal now.
Yeah, well, Andre Fabre trains these two. This one and the one we showed last week, okay, Earthlight. Pinatuba is also Godolphins. The three are all owned by Godolphin.
All Shamadal too, eh?
And they all look the best. But what the fantastic part about this is out of the family of Street Cry. And I always look at the VAC-NIC, the E-NICs, okay, because they're always A++ or A+ or whatever. You know what this E-NIC was for this pedigree?
Yes.
C.
Is that right?
Yeah. Less than 7% chance of producing a stakes horse. And this was won 3 out of 3. And I think he's very good.
The Group 1, I think, the 2-year-old won by Zoffany.
Well, that's the next one I got to talk about. It was the Prima Sol Boussac, which is the fillies one. Jessica Harrington bought the Zoffany filly out of a Selkirk mare. And this is the family of El Grand Senior and Dome Diver.
Yeah.
And the Shane Foley rode it. That won the fillies section and won very easily too.
Very good.
So, fabulous racing. Lots of great stuff to talk to. You're going to love the interview with Robbie Martin. He's a real character. Enjoy, and we'll be back next week.
My shirt.
Okay.
Man who comes racing a lot, a top sportsman in his day, but has the unique record of holding the world record for the drinking of the yard of ale. Many, many years ago, it was very popular. Robbie Martin. Robbie, thanks for coming in.
It's a pleasure, Paul.
Rob, let's talk firstly about this Yard of Ale, because people know you. I've seen people point out, there's the guy from the Yard of Ale. But that's going back many, many years.
Yeah, I was about 21 when I first started. We were just sitting in the change room at Soccer Club and Rambler Soccer Club, and the guy said to me, do you know they have a drinking competition at Cockney Pride? I said, no, I didn't know that. So I said, well, let's go next Tuesday.
Was it every Tuesday?
Every Tuesday. So we went, 4 or 5 of us climbed in, and we went to Cockney Pride. And we put your name down.
I've been there, downstairs.
Downstairs, yeah, with the old Tonky piano, and the guy came around and he took names, and I said, I'll do it. I said, but it looks a hell of a thing to do.
What Yard of Ale, how many beers are we talking?
We're talking 2 3/4 beers.
So only 3 beers, okay.
Yeah. So basically, the colder the beer, the harder to drink.
Yeah, that's right.
So I said, no problem. So I watched the guys doing this, and I watched. And they said, you won it. Oh, I said, 11.9 seconds.
Your first attempt.
My first attempt. 11.9 seconds. I said, surely someone can beat that. They said, no. And in the,
how many contestants, Rob? 10 people
and,
every Tuesday.
And in doing it in 11.9, I actually stopped and went.
Yeah.
And I said, well, hang on.
Because I
better go again.
Yeah, you got that bubble that holds beer.
I'd explain that to you. That's what came later, how you get to know it.
The technique.
So when we were about to leave, I saw the guy take the Yard of Ale into the kitchen, and I saw him washing it.
Yeah.
So I thought, hang on. Turned upside down. Look, it only comes out in about 8-9 seconds.
If you
pour it upside down.
Because of the air.
Because of the air bubbles. So I thought, whoa, I'll go somewhere I can get it out quicker than that.
Yeah.
Okay. So the next week, we were back.
As the winner, did you go back?
Now, as a winner, I didn't realize it. You win 6 beers, 6 glasses,
yes,
a T-shirt, and a meal for 2 at the Crazy Horse downstairs. And
this is a long time ago.
Yeah, and in those days, I was very friendly with Charlie Good, Etienne, those fellas, all the racing guys.
Yes.
And I used to not go for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and then I'd take them all in for supper.
Yeah. So Rob, you worked out a technique to make it come down quicker.
Yeah.
And then you got so quick, no one could get near you. Because I remember trying it one day, and it's just important. A little technique you got to have.
The closest a guy ever got to me was 8 seconds.
Is that right?
Yeah.
That's flying.
Yeah. And funny enough, the guy is late, unfortunately. It's Anthony Spark.
Oh,
Brown
he died.
Spark.
Yeah,
Brown Spark.
Brown Spark, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, shame.
he was pretty quick. And,
Yeah, can you imagine, eh?
he was the guy that kept me on my toe, you know.
Yeah.
So,
And Rob, you used to go down, I remember we used to do it, they put this big thing over you, so like a splash cover.
Yeah.
And then the timers were there were 2 timers, and away you went, and they told you your time afterwards.
Yeah.
And I've seen guys puking, and you can't get it done quickly, it's like a wave coming at you.
yeah, it's you know, once I got used to it, I could see straight away when the guy said, on the mark said, go, I could see the way he starts drinking, whether he's good enough or not.
Not, yeah.
Because that thing, you got to breathe out.
Okay.
Into it, and you wait for the tube.
Of air.
Tube of air. And there's a bowl at the end.
Yeah.
Now the bowl is got 13 gulps.
Yeah.
Which go goop, goop, goop. And you wait for the second gulp. Goop, goop. And you blow. When you blow,
Yeah.
it hits that vacuum there. But you got to have it.
The right angle.
No, you got to have it there.
Oh, you got to cover your face,
Yeah,
because it's
so-
coming at you.
So the beer comes like that. It goes in your nose, your eyes, and your mouth.
So it was a laugh a minute.
Yeah, it was a lot.
Rob, what was the world record time?
Was then 7.56,
Right.
held by a German guy.
Yes.
And they took me to the breweries.
Yes.
And the guy said he wants to time me there. So I took Frank Parkinson, was the manager of the Beach Hotel.
Okay.
He went with the guy from the breweries, and they timed me.
Yeah.
And they came out with a time of 5.1 seconds.
So that was the world record.
That was
eh?
a world record. So then the guy said to me, look, it looks like you could be going to Germany,
Yeah.
to the Beer Fest,
Yes.
to challenge if they can get hold of the
German
other
man.
champion, the champion.
Yeah.
And they couldn't get hold of him,
Hmm.
obviously, because he'd been dead for 5 years.
This is a killer, this
Yeah,
video.
yeah.
This
So that was the end of my
Your
trip
trip,
overseas.
yeah.
But and then the record has been there since then.
Since
it was
then.
about 1974, 75. Yeah.
I see in the Kloof pub, they've got a thing there with your
Yeah.
name underneath it, the world record. It's a different size though.
That one is 4 pints.
Okay.
Now that you can imagine after a round of golf,
Yeah.
you go there and the guys say to you, come on, you can drink that. Funny enough, you know who had the record at that time?
No.
Marnie Blom.
Oh, the rugby man.
The soccer man.
Oh, Marnie Soccer.
He used to carry the
The banana tree.
banana tree
Rugby.
for Durban
Right,
City.
yeah.
Durban City.
And
Yeah.
rugby.
Yes.
Same boy. Yeah.
Yeah, and I looked. He had the record of 44 seconds.
44.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I thought, no, come on, man.
Yeah, 4 litres.
This is a lot of beer.
Yeah,
I thought,
it's a lot of
and,
beer.
I'll easy beat that. But so the manager, I said, the manager, fill it up, please, man. He said, no, you pay. He said, so many people have said, fill it up, and they've never even finished it. So I said, I'm telling you, I'll do it under 20 seconds.
Yeah.
I said, fill it up. So I'll pay. So I paid it. And he bought this thing. And when he bought it to me, gee, this is a lot of beer, man.
It's a big bump.
It's just it's a yard,
Yeah.
but it's, the top is like this,
Yeah.
and the bowl is like this.
Yeah.
So I thought, well, let's go. So they got the barman and the manager to come time me. And away they go. Jeez, I thought, while I'm drinking it, I go,
Same technique.
Same technique until I got to that bowl. I had to drop twice.
Yeah.
It hit me. Bah, bah. So I finished it, and I finished it in 12 seconds.
12 seconds. So that's why the record's up there.
That's what the record is. And the manager couldn't believe it. He said he's never ever seen anything in his life. I said, well, you saw Marnie Blom. I said, 40. He said, no, but he stopped twice.
Rob, so that was all obviously in the past and a lot of fun in that. But you've always been involved with football your whole life. You played, top level football. And do you remember the days where Morris V, who's still bookmaking today, decided to sponsor an over 35 side or a Sunday League side to start? Do you remember that squad of guys? Remember, Tubby Luckin was his manager,
Yeah.
a bookmaker. Warren Arsley, remember the
Yes,
judge?
the judge.
Who are the other racing guys who played in that team?
Patrick Datums,
That's right. Penny
Patrick
Datums,
Datums.
yeah, that's right.
Billy Uren,
Billy Uren, the jock.
Jockey, Trevor Denman.
That's right. Trevor and Eggy Denman.
Yeah.
Do you remember?
Well, yes, I'll tell you a story about it. We always knew what field we were playing on.
Yeah.
Because Trevor Denman used to own a 4.2 litre Jag.
Okay.
It was bigger than the goals.
Yeah.
And he used to go straight from the Monte Carlo,
Yeah, that's Trevor.
Trevor and Eric,
Yeah.
and used to go. And we used to just drive around Kingsmead. Okay, right, there's a Jag in the goal mouth.
That's where we played.
We know we're playing on that field.
Yeah, they used to just pass out there.
They pass out, yes, yeah. They finish partying at about 6, 7 o'clock
And go to the
and
ground.
go sleep at the ground. Otherwise, they wouldn't have woke up.
See, those were days ago. As you say, do you remember the story with, funny enough, a lot of people were talking about it passed on, Paddy Datums and Gavin Airy. Remember Gavin Airy from the
Gavin
Airy
Airy,
brothers?
yes, yes.
And the day that we only 9 turned up for Morrisview, or 10, and we put him in goals. Do you remember? He played in Stokies or something, played in goals. And a week later, he arrived with brand new boots.
Yes.
But the whole squad was there. There were 40
We
players.
put him on the bench.
Yeah. Do you remember he's saying 1 ton, no run.
No,
He paid
yeah.
100 rand for his boots, 1 ton, no run. Yeah, he was also one of the crazy guys. But Swerve
Yeah.
in horses,
No Flesh, yeah.
Grand Croatia. A lot of these guys got involved in football and horses. Eh?
Yeah, a lot of guys. And the thing was, they knew I had the team card. I was
Yeah.
a captain, and
Yeah.
you were vice captain.
Yes.
So my name was on it,
Yeah.
and your name was on it. And we didn't have a goalkeeper, so we had my brother.
That's right.
That's Brian, Robbie, and Paul.
Yeah, that's right.
Right, the next 8 people that arrive, you're playing.
That's right.
And if you weren't there in time, you
But
sit on the bench.
Rob, the years of Morris V, we had so many ex-pros, was a top side. Eh?
Oh,
we
yes,
never
yeah.
used to lose. You know,
Oh, yeah.
just a great side. Can you remember what we used to do with the ball? What we used to call it when we kicked off?
Yes.
What was it
We
called?
used to kick it to normally Rassie,
Yeah,
and we used to call it touch McQuib.
that's right.
Every guy had to touch the ball
Before the opposition.
before the opponents touched it.
That's right.
But if you give it to Rassie, Rassie would kick it against somebody and
Yeah.
and mess up our thing. But
Yeah, I remember
he
those.
got punished.
Rob, you've had horses over the years. You know, you've always had a dabble in horses. Nothing at the moment.
No, nothing at the moment.
But-
The money is not as easy as it was in those days. I had a very nice horse.
Yeah.
I think you'll remember it. That's Love.
Remember that there was another horse got the same name years later.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
But that
Love.
probably was the best I ever had. And it was with, you'll never believe it, Uncle Joe Goss.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's going back. That was
Other
a
than
good
that,
horse.
all my horses have been with you.
Yeah.
And
Sheesh.
we've never had any.
Any big horses?
Luck.
eh?
No,
yeah.
no,
They're
no,
very
no.
good. Just run of the mills. eh?
Yeah.
All right, Rob, thanks very, very much for coming in and talking
Pleasure,
to us. Very interesting. Good to catch up. And I think a lot of the boys from Etienne and all of those Morris V guys would like to see this, see what you're up to. There we go, guys. The world record holder, Robbie Martin.